7 Super Bowl rings, not enough winning for Tom Brady. He's back for a 23rd season and even added an Emmy Award to the trophy case.
So when I look at over 20 years, I look how far I've come. But there's not one step that I took where I realized, look how far I've come. But those series of steps that I put together, I go, wow, that's quite a journey.
Brady, not just the focus of the most outstanding documentary series, Man in the Arena, he's also the man that helped produce it. He founded the production company with Hall of Famer Michael Strahan and Gotham Chopra, and that company is called Religion of Sports. Here to talk about the company and the industry moving forward is their CEO, Ameeth Sankaran. Nice to see you, sir. Congratulations on the Emmy and congratulations on the $50 million raise. What does that mean for your company and how you transform to the future?
Thank you. Thanks for having us here. I think it's we're really excited about it. I think what you just described with Man in the Arena is an example of premium content. We view that as the differentiation that we're able to bring to the table. And you see what's happening with some of the subscription issues with Netflix and others. I think what we hear in the market is what matters is what cuts through, what's able to go drive real viewing engagement, what's able to drive real interactivity, what's able to drive, minimize churn. And so that's where we think we can actually play an interesting role. We've created a lot of premium, compelling content. We have a great slate ahead, and we're excited to invest more into it.
And Ameeth, a lot of us were wondering, when you first started looking at some of these sports storytelling stories, this really was a door to so many other things. Why do you think this has resonated so much?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think I go back to going, when there was just linear TV, there was a certain set of programming. As the streamers have opened up options, you've seen so many different niche opportunities create, lots of engagement and viewership. And it's not just sports, but the doc space in general has really exploded. And you can see even open Netflix now, Kanye West documentary is at the top of the charts. Apple Plus has the new Magic documentary, Man in the Arena with Us. So many things are taking off. And so, I think for us, it's a lot of right time, right place. We started this about 5 years ago. Gotham, my business partner, our creative head, has been a filmmaker for 20 years. And so worked with Kobe and Tom Brady and Steph Curry and Simone Biles, many others. And now we're kind of in that space of we have credibility. There's a market demand for it. How do we work? And by the way, all these athletes or talent generally wants a great story told. They don't want something that's, very akin to their commercial projects.
Ameeth, I think a lot of us who are watching this, we have Tom versus Time. We also have Man in the Arena. Tom Brady, how involved is he on the day-to-day production of this? Is he in there choosing which cuts to use? Is he in there making these types of tough decisions, or is he kind of doing it from a 50-foot view?
Yeah, well, I would say there's two different Tom and Michael Strahans both. On the boardroom, there's a conversation, and that's a little bit more, strategic direction, guidance, network, opening a lot of doors with athletes, with executives and so forth. And that's been consistent for both of them, super supportive throughout. When it comes to a Tom project, so the two you referenced, he does get detailed. Well, and I wouldn't say it's, he's not in the edit room, but I think he does have a strong point of view on, how he comes across, particularly when it comes to recognizing his team. I think one of the things in Man in the Arena that he's felt very sensitive around throughout is, it's about him, but he's the first one to say he couldn't have gotten anywhere without support of so many. And when he was reflecting on each year, he'd say, I need to remember that offensive lineman or that person. I need to talk about this person because they were critical. And I think that's, just looking at, knowing him and then looking at how he interacts. That's where it mostly comes in. And so a lot of the iteration our team would go through is trying to integrate a lot of his, who he wants to bring into the story.
Man in the Arena and Tom versus Time really changed the industry in terms of athletes taking control of their own story. The same way Drive to Survive has really changed sports as we know it. That's the Netflix series that chronicles Formula One, and it has boosted ratings. It has boosted attendance. It has spiked their media rights that are coming up soon. What do you think the next sport is to kind of benefit from a documentary wave like this?
Yeah, no, it's a great point, and it has created, Drive to Survive has created so much interest for F1. I think they've already announced box to box their interaction for the PGA. There's a lot of those conversations. I think stepping back to your point, Man in the Arena did the same thing. There was interest. Tom got emails from so many people saying, I love this. I'm able to show my kids life lessons that they can learn from this. And that has generated more interest in, Patriots fandom and so forth. And so you can think about, how does content lead to community and commerce? And you can think about it in the context of teams. So with the Patriots in that case, you can think about it in terms of leagues, to your point. And we think about that very similarly. So we're actively talking to both teams and leagues about how can we amplify, how can we bring our capability to raise the profile. And then answering your question a little bit directly, I think the thing that's really interesting about Drive to Survive is a lot of, at least in the US, a lot of Americans, the average American, doesn't really follow the sport or didn't really follow the sport week to week. And so you could produce something compelling over a period of time and then release it later, and it still have the drama of you don't know who's going to win. And so I think that lends itself to something about these niche sports has an opportunity there. And we're looking at that quite a bit as well.
Now, I think Michael Jordan may have been kind of the guy that started this with his own taking control of that documentary series. It was such a smash hit. Is the downside that we don't get to see the other critical look at some of the athletes we so adore?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's one of those things, right, where Gotham is a master at this, of saying, you're telling the athletes, I'm your partner, we're your partners as a company. But at the same time, you'll tell the athlete, he talks about it all the time with Kobe, you can't, no one is going to believe the authenticity of the story here if it's just about the upside. You have to be raw, you have to be honest. And that doesn't mean every single detail has to be out there, but it has to be real. It has to. And so to your point, it has to get into some of that. And, we saw that a lot with Tom. I mean, I don't know if you watched episode 10, the last one, he was so heartfelt around talking about his relationship with his father and what his father had done, that he actually opened up saying, this crazy thing that I'm doing with football, am I being as good a father to my kids? And he opened up about balance. And I think a lot of that is what makes this real, relatable, which again, back to our mission, we want to make all this stuff relatable so you can kind of get some inspiration from the content that's out there.